Skip, I think instead of the NFL and its owners trying to come up with a way to punish the players for kneeling, how about come up with a solution to be united with their players? But like my granny used to say, that sounds too much like right.
Yep.
This would be the dumbest idea yet. Because you're going to punish a team for something that takes place 5 to 10 minutes before the actual game is even played, Skip. That makes no sense to no one. But at the crux of this, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, Skip, because every time I talk about it, I get more and more upset. At the end of the day, the majority owners don't care about this issue. They just want this PR problem to go away.
Yep.
They don't give a damn about this issue because they're unaffected by it. You see, a lot of people can get their arms around cancer, Skip, because they've had a loved one that suffered from this deadly disease.
Yep.
So they'll give money, or they'll put on a ribbon, and they'll run pink, or they'll do the races. But this, Jerry Jones doesn't care about this. You know why? Because Stephen Jones is never going to be touched by this. Jonathan Kraft is never going to be touched by this. So if you're not impacted by this, there's a greater chance that you're not going to have the same caring and compassion for this issue.
Yep.
And that's what it comes down to. Now, Mr. Kraft, remember he went to Philly, Skip? Had the photo art with Meek Mill. Meek Mill famous. Most of these people that's being impacted by this aren't famous.
Yep.
Unless you're a family member, you don't know who the hell they are.
Yep.
These players from the NFL, it's like the people that we're trying to represent, they're not famous. They don't have a voice. They can't be seen until they're sprawled out in the street. It's sad that the NFL is trying to find a way. They're going above and beyond. How can we punish the players? At the end of the day, how can you implement something when you don't give the people that's going to be impacted a seat at the table?
Yep.
You see, they said the owners are in Atlanta. Nothing about the Players Association. No D. Smith. None of the because this would be a great time because the executive council, they're not playing, Skip, so they can be there. They can be in Atlanta. D. Smith could say, hey, guys, we get an opportunity to sit at the table with the owners, and we're going to talk about this issue, try to come up with a conclusion. But at the end of the day, I believe the best thing that both sides can agree upon, Skip, let's just stay in the locker room doing the national anthem because the NFL paid for patriotism because that's what they did. They used to get money from the military to come out there and saying they have the big flag and they get fans to wave the flag in the center, and the NFL was getting millions and millions of dollars. That's what this is. Leave them in the locker room, have the national anthem, and come out and play. But this is the dumbest idea yet, that you would actually penalize players for kneeling, something that takes place 10 plays before the game. So I guess if the guy get a speeding ticket, what you going to do about that? Not let him play? NFL, y'all need to miss me with this foolishness.
I love your point about here the owners are just grinding away over how can we solve this? What can we do? And it goes on and on. Countless hours are being spent even as we speak. They're just wrestling over how can we get out of this predicament we're in. They're hurting our bottom line. And to my knowledge, not a single player representative is there. I didn't read about one, right? It's just the owners. So here we have an NBA, very successful NBA, that's starting to gain more and more ground on the NFL and popularity. And the NBA owners and executives treat their players as partners, correct?
Correct.
They honor them, that they are grateful to them, for them, and they want them to be sort of 50-50 partners. LeBron James, Chris Paul, they are considered part of the hierarchy and the decision-making process of the National Basketball Association. The NFL owners still want to treat their players as nothing more than employees who should be grateful that they can be able to occupy the stage owned by the National Football League. Correct? And we still have the various Bob McNairs of the league saying we can't let the inmates run, not the asylum, but the prison. The prison. And I'm sure there are a number of other owners, I don't know how many, who basically share that mindset that Bob McNair spoke, then backed off, and then said, no, I shouldn't have apologized. Really? Wow. Interesting.
Double it down.
Okay. So, to your 15-yard penalty, which is just one of the ways that have been thrown out as a possible way to stop this. Well, I'll give you this. I hadn't really thought of a 15-yard penalty, but I'm just doing it hypothetically. It would definitely stop it, but at what price? Because that is, so to speak, penal, man. If all of a sudden you're throwing a flag before the ball's kicked off, and it's going to cost your team 15 yards, Shannon Sharp's going to say, man, I can't do that anymore. But at what price?
You're going to put teammates against
You
teammates
are.
because
You are.
they're going to say, hold on, but it's a team game. You costing us.
Yeah.
Because now it doesn't cost anybody anything.
Yeah.
But then what, Skip? I mean, does we get two people on each side, and okay, then they're offset, and then we go play the game like we normally would? I mean, what transpired?
I don't know. Good point.
Whoever thought this, like, you know what, we ought to issue a 15-yard penalty. Nah, and the next guy should say, nah, that sounds like a dumb idea. Let's scrap that. The mere fact that this was even floated out there, Skip Bayless, that lets you know. I wish I didn't feel this way, but I wish the owners cared more. All they want this, Skip, is this PR problem to go away. If this would, Skip, if they, and see, they're correlating. It couldn't be, maybe people are just not watching as much football. Maybe they're not interested in the games that's being played. No, this is the reason why. Because our president, at a rally, threw some red meat to a red meat state. And
I don't think it was just to the state. I think it was.
No, but I'm
yeah,
saying,
I know. It was in Huntsville, Alabama.
Right, which is deep President Trump's backing. And it caught fire. They don't want to touch this. They want no part of President Trump, but it makes it seem like the only President Trump supporters watch the NFL. Like, there can't be any other reason. What about the reason hold on. Now, I know for a fact that people talk, I'm not watching the NFL until they give Kappa a fair opportunity to play in the NFL. I'm not watching. So what about those guys? It's almost like Skip, they keep saying, our fans. Well, you know, there's some fans that support Colin Kaepernick. There's some fans, you know, black people that you enjoy, they eat pizza and buy merchandise and go to games. I don't know, pan the stadium in Atlanta and see how many up in there. Pan Houston, pan Dallas. They make it seem like, oh, come on, Commish, come on, owners. Show some compassion. But I tell you what, Skip, I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a video that's about to be released today about an NBA player and about what transpired with the Milwaukee PD. It's going to be real interesting.
Oh, well, that was out there. Yeah, last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're going to show the actual video.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be very, very interesting.
But the people in charge are already quoted as saying it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
Police chief said it was disturbing, I believe.
And there's one, I think the assistant, he was in church, said we're going to need prayer for this one. Prayer. Boy, I tell you what, my grandfather used to say, Joy, you know what they do? He said they'll pray for black and poor folks, but they'll listen to rich white folks. They pray for us. We're going to see. We're going to see, NFL.
You know, I don't even love your final solution to this, which is
Stay in the locker room?
stay in the locker room. Somehow it's like you're giving in, you're giving up.
But they used to stay in the locker room,
I know,
Skip.
I got it.
You probably your first 25 years of covering it.
I don't know what other solution you could possibly have.
Right.
Than to stay in the locker room. It's really the only compromise that works. You're not going to stop playing the national anthem.
Or just let it go. Just let it ride. Just
They
let
can't,
it.
Skip.
Can't do it.
They already out. They're out there now.
Yeah.
Well, they already. The reason they can't let it ride is because they already submitted to Donald Trump and reacted to it, making it seem as if they cared about the players and what was happening to them and what was being said about them, when in reality they're saying the same things in closed meetings or worse, really, depending on your opinion of what's said about it. But this solution is pathetic.
I mean, because guess what?
It's pathetic. It's insane. It's completely unenforceable because, as you said, do you give a 15-yard penalty per player? So it just adds up. What part of the game do you put it in? After the kickoff?
And they already
do they offset on the other side?
Skip,
So three guys do it on this side and two guys do it on this side. Do we do the math? What else? Like if you hit someone on the other team, do you get a flag for that because during the game? That's that's a flag during the game. It's actually insane that this was ever even put out.
Something that happens 10 minutes before the actual kickoff, Skip Bayless. You're going to get so now.
Just when I think that there's no self-awareness whatsoever, there's just always a level deeper that we can reach with this whole situation. I don't know what the solution is. Can the Rockets actually